Hello, I'm Bill Gates, Chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future, Windows.
Incredibly heavy. I was sat in a train carriage with this mobile phone and the whole carriage is staring at me. And somebody came up to me and said, "Is that a phone?" I said, "Yes, it's fantastic. I'm talking to my husband." And they went, "Where?"
Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls.
बिटकॉइन की वजह से पोल्यूशन बढ़ रहा है। जी हाँ, क्रिप्टो करेंसी की माइनिंग के लिए बहुत सारी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी की जरूरत पड़ती है और ये इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कोल और फॉसिल फ्यूल्स जलाकर जनरेट की जाती है। कोल जलाने के वक्त बहुत सारा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हवा में रिलीज होता है और उसी से पोल्यूशन बढ़ता है और हमें कई क्लाइमेटिक चेंजेस दिखाई देते हैं। CNBC की रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक बिटकॉइन
人都是股东，一起集资，一起解决问题。我们目前的场地呢，现在有6处，我们在极力开发一些新的场地。
Understand what were the real obstacles or barriers to cryptocurrency adoption and how could you actually solve those? And what we found is that, first of all, it was just too damn hard to use, right? It's too hard to access for everyday people. And then the second thing is that the value proposition wasn't incredibly clear for people. And so we came to the conclusion that we really needed to be able to build a cryptocurrency from the ground up that was more accessible and that would give people access to what we see as kind of the killer app for blockchain, which is mining. Being able to basically contribute and participate in securing a distributed ledger and earning cryptocurrency rewards for that. And so Pi basically reimagines Bitcoin from the ground up in a way that is much more user-friendly, much easier for people to use, much more fun, and much more accessible.
Okay.
We actually needed to make mining the currency and the consensus algorithm something that was also intuitive and accessible to people. And listen, I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin, and I'm very happy for proof of work and the fact that it's expensive, and that's what basically keeps me sleeping at night, right? Knowing that my Bitcoin will be secure. And at the same time, we have to acknowledge that the everyday person isn't going to pick up a 20-page manual and learn how to set up a server in their home to mine Bitcoin, right? If they want to have a good shot at it. And so Pi uses a completely different consensus algorithm that essentially allows everyday people to actually participate in the process of securing the currency and to mine the currency from the convenience of a mobile phone application.
Okay, so you guys have built a new blockchain.
Yes, we're in the process of building it.
Okay,
yes.
So layer 1 protocol. And are you taking a proof of work approach, or what is your consensus approach?
Yeah, so for Pi, what we did is we had to take a step back from proof of work because it's fundamentally not very easy for people. Nobody wants to burn their battery, basically like mining cryptocurrency.
Just got a new phone yesterday.
Okay, yeah, right?
Exactly. Too much YouTube.
Yeah,
too much YouTube.
Yeah, sure, right? And so basically what we're doing is we're taking the Stellar consensus protocol. And part of this, by the way, is we actually did a survey of different consensus protocols, right? To understand what would be the most user-friendly, what would be the most easy to use and access. And Stellar kind of rose to the top. And the way that Stellar works, it's based on something called federated Byzantine agreements. And you can think of this as a progressive voting mechanism, where people go into the Stellar network, you can spin up a node, and then you identify other nodes in the network, and you say, I will only agree to transactions that these 3 people agree to. And essentially, as each node does that, it kind of aggregates into what you might think of as almost like a global trust graph of sorts, right? And so the upside of this then is that cryptocurrency mining is not about burning a lot of energy to prove your trustworthiness. It's based more on leveraging your existing social connections and providing information about who in the world you can and can't trust. And that's how we're enabling people to mine the currency from mobile devices.
So in that sense, so with Pi, you would open up the app, because we're talking about mobile. You spin up a node and you choose who you want to trust in the node, the Stellar Federated consensus. And the status of sharing the information of who you trust is the mining process?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
That way that information can be distributed across the network and other people can build their federated trust systems kind of based off that available
Exactly.
data.
And then the plan is also to eventually have PC nodes as well, right?
Sure.
Which will be responsible for validating transactions. And the idea there is that the graph that gets built by all these mobile phone users is the key input that allows the PC nodes then to understand who can and can't be trusted, who can and can't, whose transactions should and shouldn't be validated.
Sure.